From field to crystal. This is the deceptively simple story of sugar, a journey that begins not in a box on a shelf, but in a vast, sun-drenched field. Imagine standing there, on the edge of a sea of green. Tall stalks of sugarcane, sometimes reaching over 10 feet high, sway in a gentle, warm breeze. They are like a dense, living forest, their broad leaves rustling with a sound like paper. This plant, a type of giant grass, is a remarkable biological machine. It spends its days drinking in sunlight, pulling nutrients from the soil, and through the quiet magic of photosynthesis, it packs its fibrous stalk full of sucrose, the sweet treasure that humanity has craved for centuries. The scene is one of both nature and agriculture, a landscape shaped by human hands. Small family farms might cultivate a few acres. Elsewhere, immense corporate plantations stretch as far as the eye can see. Yet in both settings, the fundamental process is the same. The cane grows, patiently accumulating sweetness under the watchful eye of the sun. The very air in these fields carries a distinct scent, a mixture of damp earth, green vegetation, and a faint, underlying sweetness, a subtle promise of the transformation that is to come. Planting is the first deliberate act in this long narrative. It is not seeds that are sown, but sections of the cane stalk itself, called sets. Workers lay these pieces in long, straight furrows carved into the soil. Each set contains buds, or eyes, which will sprout into new plants. This act of propagation connects one harvest directly to the next, a continuous cycle of growth and renewal. With careful attention to watering and the occasional weeding, these small cuttings begin their slow but steady journey skyward. The field becomes a nursery, a place of quiet, determined growth where the sun's energy is slowly converted into the chemical energy we call sugar. Months pass. The stalks thicken, their color deepening, their internal stores of sweet juice swelling with each passing day. The field that was once bare earth is now an impenetrable wall of green. It becomes a miniature ecosystem, offering shelter to birds and a feast for insects. The farmers walk the rows, their experience telling them when the moment is right. They might snap a stalk and taste the raw, watery juice, gauging its sweetness with an expertise that no instrument can fully replicate. The entire landscape seems to be holding its breath, waiting for the signal that will unleash a flurry of activity and set the cane on its rapid journey from living plant to crystalline powder. When the cane is finally deemed ready, the quiet fields erupt into a theater of intense, coordinated action. This is the harvest, noise, movement, urgency. In many parts of the world, this work is still done by hand. Men-women teams move through the dense rows, machetes flashing in the sun. With practiced, rhythmic swings, they sever the stalks at their base, strip away the excess leaves, and chop the cane into manageable lengths. The work is physically demanding, performed under a hot sun, but it is carried out with a focused rhythm that speaks to years of practice. The air fills with the sharp, percussive sound of steel hitting stalk and the collective hum of human effort. Once cut, the cane cannot wait. The clock starts ticking the moment it is severed from its roots. The sucrose inside the stalk begins to break down almost immediately, degrading into less desirable types of sugars. This is why the harvest is not just a process of cutting, but a logistical ballet. Upon arrival at the mill, the sugarcane's journey accelerates, entering a world of mechanical might and controlled chemistry. The first encounter is with the crushers. The cane stalks are fed onto conveyors that carry them into a series of massive, grooved rollers. With immense pressure, these rollers shred and squeeze the cane, rupturing its cells and releasing the sweet juice within. The noise is deafening, a constant grinding roar of metal against fiber. The extracted liquid, a murky, greenish-brown fluid, gushes into collection tanks below. What remains of the cane is a fibrous, pulpy material called bagasse, which looks like shredded, dried straw and carries its own distinct, earthy smell. This raw juice is far from being sugar. It is a complex mixture, cloudy with soil, plant fibers, waxes, and other impurities. The next stage is clarification, a crucial step to purify the liquid. The juice is pumped into large tanks and heated, and a carefully measured amount of lime is added. This process causes the impurities to clump together, forming a sludge that sinks to the bottom or rises to the surface as a scum. The clarified juice, now a translucent amber, is carefully drawn off, leaving the waste behind. Now the transformation intensifies with heat. Under vacuum, water leaves at lower temperatures, protecting color and flavor. As the juice concentrates, it becomes a heavy, golden syrup. This step is crystallization, seeded with tiny sugar crystals. In a careful balance of feed and boil, molecules latch onto seeds and grow, like pearls forming in an oyster. The thick massacute is stirred to ensure uniform crystals. Here, sugar takes on its familiar crystalline form. It extends outward, touching the environment and the local community in profound ways. One of the most elegant aspects of a well-run sugar mill is its approach to waste. The bagasse, that fibrous residue left after crushing the cane, is not discarded. It is loaded and transported to the mill's boilers. There it is burned as fuel. The process generates most, if not all, of the steam and the electricity needed to power the entire factory. The plant powers its own transformation, turning waste into renewable energy in a closed loop. The mill's relationship with its surroundings is a delicate one. Beyond bagasse, other outputs must be managed. Wastewater from cleaning the cane and equipment. A responsible factory invests in water treatment facilities, ensuring discharged water is clean and does not harm the aquatic ecosystem. The impact of a sugar mill on a local town is immense. It is often the largest employer, the economic engine supporting countless families. Farmers who grow the cane, shopkeepers in the village. When the mill thrives and operates with care, the community prospers. This deep connection fosters a sense of shared destiny. The factory might sponsor local schools, support health clinics, help maintain roads. Its presence is woven into the identity of the place. Planting, harvesting, processing, La Zafra define the year. And so, we arrive at the end of the journey, back to the simple crystal. That tiny, sparkling grain of sugar on your spoon is the culmination of sun soil water and human ingenuity. It holds the memory of the green field, the sweat of the harvest, the roar of the mill, and the careful touch of the lab technician. When we taste its sweetness, we are tasting the product of a complex and interconnected system. If that system is managed with respect for the land and its people, the sweetness is all the more profound. It becomes a taste of hope, a hope for a sustainable future where what we consume helps nourish the communities and ecosystems that created it. The sugar leaving the factory carries the sweetness of cane and the dedication of these people. Operators monitor screens, pressures, temperatures, and flow rates, making tiny adjustments to keep the entire system in harmony. These workers are the unsung custodians of the transformation.
Looks good today.
The clarification must be running perfectly.
Safety is a constant preoccupation in a place of steam, moving parts, and heat. Shared responsibility creates a bond. From field to crystal, sweetness is a promise kept by sun, soil, water, and the hands that guide it.